Does lying to yourself to reinforce something that you're doing create a chemical response in the brain that might provide feel good chemical releases?
Yes, lying to yourself, or engaging in self-deception, can create a chemical response in the brain that might release feel-good chemicals. When you convince yourself of a positive but false belief, your brain can respond similarly to how it does when you experience actual positive events. Here's a bit more detail. Dopamine release. Dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter, plays a key role in reward and motivation. If you believe a lie that makes you feel good or more confident, it can trigger a dopamine release, reinforcing the behavior and making you feel better temporarily. Stress reduction. Believing in positive but false statements can reduce stress and anxiety. By avoiding the harsh realities of a situation, your brain might reduce the production of stress hormones like cortisol, contributing to a temporary sense of relief and well-being. Placebo effect. The placebo effect, where believing in the efficacy of a treatment can lead to real physiological benefits, shows how powerful belief can be. Similarly, self-deception might leverage this effect, creating real changes in brain chemistry based on belief alone. Cognitive dissonance reduction. When there is a conflict between beliefs and actions, cognitive dissonance arises, which can be uncomfortable. Self-deception can help reduce this discomfort by aligning your beliefs with your actions, leading to a more harmonious state of mind, and potentially triggering the release of endorphins, which are chemicals associated with pain relief and pleasure. While these responses can create temporary feelings of well-being, it's important to note that relying on self-deception long-term can have negative consequences. Reality will eventually confront the false beliefs, potentially leading to greater stress and disappointment. Moreover, self-deception can prevent you from addressing underlying issues or making necessary changes, ultimately affecting mental health and well-being.
Could this type of activity become physically addictive?
Yes, self-deception can potentially become physically addictive, particularly because it can trigger the release of feel-good chemicals in the brain, such as dopamine. Here's how this might happen. Dopamine pathways. When engaging in self-deception results in positive feelings or relief, the brain's reward pathways are activated. Dopamine is released, creating a sense of pleasure or satisfaction. Over time, the brain may start to crave these dopamine releases, leading to a cycle where self-deception is used more frequently to achieve the same pleasurable state. Reinforcement loop. Similar to other behaviors that can become addictive, such as gambling or substance use, self-deception can create a reinforcement loop. Each time you successfully deceive yourself and experience a positive emotional response, the behavior is reinforced, making it more likely you will engage in self-deception again. Habit formation. The more you practice self-deception, the more it can become a habit. Habits are behaviors that have been reinforced over time and become automatic responses. Once a habit is formed, the brain structure can actually change to support this new pattern of behavior, making it difficult to break. Dependence on positive feelings. If self-deception becomes a primary method for coping with negative emotions or stress, you might become dependent on it for emotional regulation. This dependence can resemble addiction, where the individual relies on self-deception to manage their emotional state, potentially leading to neglect of healthier coping mechanisms. While self-deception can create temporary emotional relief, its long-term use can prevent addressing underlying issues and developing more effective and sustainable coping strategies. If you find yourself relying on self-deception frequently, it might be helpful to explore other ways to manage stress and emotions, such as through therapy, mindfulness, or other healthy practices.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask. Take care.